Kitty, you said you wanted a video. Here's your video, okay? I know I'm being kind of goofy. Uh, I have to admire you for talking about your religion or your faith. Uh, it is a hard subject to talk about. It causes so many arguments and all kinds of things. Personally, I was thankful only because I was confused. I have Mormons in my family. They do not act like your family. They do not believe like you guys do. It was, their whatever they're doing is different. Let's just put it that way. And so whatever you guys were, it was confusing me knowing that you guys grew up Mormon and the two were not going together. And I guess it's just one of those things where there's different branches and this bunch is off on a weird thing. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your faith. Personally, I am Christian, just what I grew up with. I have to. I find it interesting when someone stays with one church all their life. I have grown up in so many different churches. I my mom and dad started off in the Salvation Army, and when I got my double digits, then we started going to a Baptist church, then a Southern Baptist church, and from there, then my mom and dad didn't quite go to church very often. I started going to a Church of Christ, and it was okay. And then I went to various other, just to see, there's Church of Christ, um, community church, all kinds of different things. And the thing is I've learned, and then I have a friend who is Muslim. You know, I did an extensive study on the Jewish faith, mainly because it was a homework assignment for a women's weekend we were going to do at my church, and one of the subjects was very in depth on the Jewish faith, and so I figured if I'm going to do a proper job of it, I ought to do it right. So I did a very extensive study on it. And the thing is like the Apostle Paul says, I am all things to all men. Not everybody is going to agree on faith. I have gone to churches where the difference between a wooden pew or a wooden pulpit versus a glass pulpit was sacrilege type of thing. There's all kinds of crazy things what people don't agree on about faith, and I refuse to get into it. I refuse to argue about it. I refuse to discuss it. Whatever you believe is your business and it's none of mine. What I believe is my business, none of yours. However, it doesn't hurt for us to compare notes now and then because it clears up a few questions. No problem there, right? So, the only thing I ever tell anybody when they're questioning a faith is to check your facts. Make sure you got the facts to back up what you say. And make sure it's not hearsay. And pretty much all religion, I've yet to meet one, that has everything based not on hearsay. You've learned it from your parents, who learned it from their parents, who learned it from their parents. The Bible has been translated how many times, and there's arguments everywhere about, I don't care what the faith is, there's arguments about everything. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Check your facts, make sure what you're believing is the truth, or at least in your heart is the truth, and leave it at that. And don't expect everybody to believe what you believe. This is just the way it is, and even though I'm not Mormon, I have no problem with you being Mormon. You're happy. You have a lovely family. It's wonderful. I love it. I don't know what else to tell you about that subject. However, and I thought, well, it's kind of like, that subject is kind of like the weight loss thing. Shay, what Shay went through to lose all that weight. And how he had to change his habits and his understanding about food and stuff like that. And he is correct when he gets on there on in front of the camera and says, get your vegetables, get your fruit, get this, get that, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. He's right. There is no argument about that. But I can't do that. I know some people who can't. Some of us just don't have, can't get out of a wheelchair or something like that, so we do the best we can. I can get around some. I was injured. I was sandwiched between two cars, and after a few years, I'm finally allowed to go back and work out at the gym. And it took me, let's say, I started in September, which is when I got my release, till now. And I finally am, this month, allowed to use 5 pounds on the weights. Bully for me. To me, that's a big accomplishment. You wouldn't believe it. But as for the food, small problem. I could not lose weight no matter what. It's like I follow the diet plans, and like my doctor says, if you go with one thought of mind that this is the only way it works, less calories in, more calories out, you're going to lose weight. There's just no way around it. And preferably the healthier food would be better. And he's right. However, like he says, there are things that are beyond a person's control, such as insulin. I have, for some reason, my body's producing insulin out like nobody's business, and that insulin's got to go somewhere, so it goes into fat. One problem. Another problem is retention. My body stores up water like nobody's business, and some of it is due to the medication that I have. There is food, what do you call it, food sensitivity. It was just a list of things of why my body was retaining. And so what we had to do is put me on a very extremely careful diet. My food, some of it's like this. And I get a food bar, which is yummy. I get yogurt. I get 4 ounces of meat and a couple cups of veggies. My first week, I did pretty good. I lost like 6 pounds. But the second week, I had one meal, and not even the whole meal. I gave half of it to my son. We went out for a family thing, and I ordered a chicken sandwich thinking it was safe, and come to find out it came with all the wrong stuff, and the chicken was enormous. And so I ate half the sandwich, ate some of the other stuff, gave it to my son, and I gained 4 pounds from one meal. And the rest of the week I was good. I had to work like the dickens, so by the time I saw the doctor, I only lost a half a pound. But we went back to ground zero and just stuck with the diet according to what he has. I'm not hungry, I'm not suffering, but I got a lot of people on my case about how I'm doing the wrong diet. And like the doctor says, it doesn't matter what diet you go on, you're going to lose weight. Being able to keep the weight off is the other issue. And as I get down to where I need to be, we're going to be introducing different foods in and finding out which ones are triggering the weight gain. And we've been having to do blood tests. Today I had an ultrasound. It's just a long list of things that are going on, and it's issues that are beyond my control. And the doctor changed my medication, and it's going to cause weight gain. So, what am I supposed to do? But to say that Shay's wrong, I'm wrong. Shay's right on how to lose weight. But I also know that my doctor is right, that there is more to the picture, and he has to find out the truth. He has to do his homework. He has to dig through everything to find out what's causing the problem. Once we find out, we're good. I knew I wasn't eating more than my calories, but that didn't make any difference because of what I was gaining. So that's the, so to me, religion is kind of like that in the sense that you got to dig deep, you got to find out the source, and work from there. I know weight loss and religion are two different subjects, but I'm strange that way. But your family is wonderful. I love your family. Watching you guys is like watching me and my husband with our 4 kids growing up, and doing some pretty strange things as we were growing up. But this YouTube is your job. Putting your views, your videos on for everybody to see is your job. And you're sharing your life. You're sharing your hearts, your happy points and your sad points and all that kind of stuff. And that includes your faith. And people have to accept that. Whether or not they agree with your faith, it's really none of their business. It's your faith. It's your life. You wouldn't be here if you weren't sharing it. That's all there is to it. And if people don't like what they're watching, turn it off. What else can I say? Um, it's just crazy, that people have to argue and bicker and fight over things like that, and it's silly. There's no reason for it. You guys are wonderful. You're sweet people. I wouldn't be watching you if I didn't think you were good people, you know. And yes, your religion issue confused me, but I'm not saying it's right or wrong, because it may not be right for me, but it's right for you. And that's what's important. It's you have to choose for yourself what is right for you and stick to it. Don't let people pick on you. Don't let people, bug you. I know, I get people who, I thought it was funny when I got my first hater. I was like, hey, I'm finally official. I've got a hater. But that's okay. People are people. They're going to have their differences. They just need to grow up. And as far as I'm concerned, you guys are great. I love you guys. I think you're sweet. I wish I could have seen you when you came to Colorado that one time. I had 101 fever and couldn't go. Oh well. Anyway, hopefully, I know I will be seeing you guys in VidCon, and I am so looking forward to that. But we will see you guys later. And Katie, keep it up. You're doing a good job.